energy out here today.
Yeah, I tell you right now, the kids are looking good. The only struggle is today being an afternoon practice with a scrimmage, and I just felt like we weren't as crisp as I wanted us to be. But I have to understand where we are. We haven't played a game yet, and we're in 22 days of going against each other, and they're tired of that. So I just have to keep it in focus. But they did have good energy. It's just that we didn't execute as well as I would have hoped for last scrimmage.
Right. At this point, when you're coming off a season, that's all a lot of growing pains, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest thing you think these guys learned going through that?
That they didn't like the fact of the losing. They didn't like the fact of not feeling like they were accomplishing anything. And so the success of beating Shaw at the end of the year was a positive springboard into the spring. It's been a positive springboard into fall camp. It's just a matter of the consistency. When you got a young team, the growing pains is teaching them to be consistent.
You just mentioned the Shaw game. Obviously, you said that springboarded them kind of, did that kind of make them more hungry to get out here in the spring and kind of know what they needed to work on? They had that, full season underneath their belt.
Oh, yeah, they did. And the best thing about it is they know that they didn't have a good day today, but the best thing about it is we'll get in the film room, we'll come back out here tomorrow and go through the corrections, and they'll be locked in on not making those mistakes again. The only thing, like I said, I struggle with is when it's your last scrimmage, you want it to be really polished, and I felt like we had too many errors but the errors that we can clean up. So I think the energy that they've carried from the spring, the way they worked in the summer, the camp that we had thus far, I think we'll be fine. It's just a matter of, I'm soaking today because I just felt like we could have played better. That's all.
Right, for sure. How helpful has it been, though, to have that full spring and summer with this group of guys, with you as well, to kind of get things, where you want the standard you want this program to be in?
I think that the best thing about it is that getting time together. Last year, we just reported August 1st, and it's 100 and some people sitting in a room. It's the first time we're together. This year, we know each other. We've had the good times that we've needed as far as getting close. They've done an outstanding job of connecting with one another, from the older guys to the younger guys. But it's just a matter of the consistency. Young teams got to be consistent, and that's the one thing. They have to mature. That's the one thing we're going to keep telling them is we've got to mature.
Consistency, maybe also at the quarterback position. Do you assume that maybe you're going to see a little bit more of that this year? And how much growth have you seen in that?
Yes, I'm happy at the quarterback position. I'm feeling like right now we're good with Chris Perkins as our starter. Donovan Brewington is our backup. But then we also have Kobe Clifton, who I think is an outstanding number 3, who if he was somewhere else in our league probably would be a 1 or 2. So I feel good at the quarterback position. The biggest thing is we just got to be able to protect those guys next week. And that's my biggest thing with the quarterback situation, is just keeping them healthy and upright, because we got 3 good ones.
Right. As far as his weapons, any guys standing out to you this summer?
DeAndre Proctor has had a great fall. Mekhi Haig has had a great fall camp. Leon Goldsboro, who's our tight end, I think he has the skill set to really do some things, but he's only in his second year playing football. He was a basketball player coming into college originally, and he decided to start playing football, and he's going to be a great tight end, and I think he has a lot of talent and potential. So those are his 3 biggest weapons, but at the end of the day, I still want to be able to run the ball, so we can't forget that. I want to be able to run the ball.
Right. Defensively, how is that looking defensively?
Oh, I'm happy with our defense because of the fact that that's where we had about 8 guys coming back. The only thing I wasn't sure about with our defense, but it's gotten shored up, is the depth at our defensive line. So I've been pleased with our depth at defensive line.
What, like you said, 5 days out, this is the last scrimmage. You didn't like today, but is this group where you want them to be, or are they further along, I guess, where they were last year?
Oh, my goodness. We're light years ahead of where we were last year. And like I said, again, I think the only thing is with today's scrimmage is just the fact of the mental errors. I think physically they held up. I just want to eliminate the mental mistakes, because when you play good teams like Tusculum, you can't make mental mistakes. And that's why I think I'm more feeling like I feel today. If you interviewed me yesterday, I was on top of the world. You catch me today, it's just I saw too many mental errors out here today, but those are fixable things. So I really think we got a shot. I'm way ahead of where we were last year, and I'm not disappointed from the standpoint of I don't believe this can be a good team. I'm just disappointed that we didn't execute as well as I'd hoped today.
How can this group take, what's the stride this year? What's the next step for this group this year?
First thing, we want to keep our win streak going. We won our last game last year. Let's win this next game. And just every week, let's just work to be 1-0. But that's going to start before we get to Saturday. They have to understand that when you come out here today, champions are going to raise their level no matter what. And that's what we have to get mentally prepared for.
Finally, your schedule. I think you hit the ground running. Do you like that?
I do, because of the standpoint that the tougher your schedule, when you get the conference, you get better. So that's why I don't mind playing a tough schedule. Our crossover schedule into our conference, we play the 3 best teams in the North, so we're going to really have to be committed to that and locked in. The Tusculum and Limestone games are going to be tough games because the SAC has a great conference as well. But the thing that we have to do mentally is just take them one at a time. So if we take Tusculum, lock in on them, then we worry about Limestone when it's time. But right now, we just got to prepare the rest of this week for what Tusculum's going to do.
Okay, last thing actually. Give me 3 words. What describes this group of guys here?
Number one is resilience. I tell those guys, because of the situation and what we're trying to do here, resilience is one thing. Attitude, I love the fact that they have a positive attitude every day they come to work. And then the last one is the effort. I look for them to give great effort. They do it. They may not be, and I always tell them, I say, you may not be going in the right direction, but just go hard in the direction you're going and we'll fix the rest. So those are the things: resilience, attitude, and effort.
Awesome. Coach.